Drought-free conditions continue across Nebraska and Kansas. Heavy rain in areas tonight and through Tuesday probably means next weekend we're looking at another situation with no drought in either the Cornhusker or the Sunflower State. Well, this long range, at least for a month ahead, showing temperatures across Nebraska and Kansas well below normal. We'll see if that's true after last week's heat wave, and with temperatures expected to climb towards the end of this week, I guess we'll see what the month-long average finally ends up being. It's been pretty hot of late. And then as we look 3 months out, normal temperatures, that means wrapping up the summer months all the way into late August, normal conditions for both Nebraska and Kansas. Precipitation-wise, the same category for the month outlook. That means normal rainfall, both Nebraska and Kansas, but then we drop into that 3-month average, well above in most of Nebraska, the north central northwest part of Kansas, all of Nebraska and Kansas still falling in that above normal category as far as the moisture. And we've really been having some great results with the Climate Prediction Center and their long range. It's really been falling into line here really since the early part of this year. Well, what about the week ahead? We have temperatures that will be just above seasonal on average. Storms likely tomorrow and again on Tuesday, tapering down to about 30% on Wednesday. Then we hit a drying out period as temperatures climb to the warm side of things, right up around 87 degrees. So what is normal for the week ahead? Well, normal highs should generally be around 82 and lows 58. Our average just a few degrees off, 85 for a high and around 64 degrees for the low. A good proverb this week, you may have heard this one. The west wind always brings wet weather. The east wind cold and wet together. The south wind surely brings us rain. The north wind blows it back again. Well, there's your proverbs and your grow weather for this week. I hope you join us again next week as we watch things in Nebraska and Kansas grow.
Talking some more markets here. Joining us is Jeff Peterson. And so basically there was a crop report released today. So kind of what was the findings of that?
Yeah, some important changes that stood out to us here today is that overall it looks like they're going to lower the stocks for both the world and the U.S. That's the amount of bushels that will be left over. Now, the main reason that actually happened is because one change was in South America. They reduced their amount of corn because of the dry conditions in Brazil by about 140 million bushels. That's a lot. And that added to exports here in the U.S. And they also did reduce their bean crop a little bit. They reduced that by about 35 million bushels. So that brought some more demand back to the U.S. also. Now, in addition to that, everybody's always been questioning, well, what were acres and yields going to do? Well, acres and yields for corn and soybeans were unchanged for this report. So we'll have to look to the next report for that. Gave us some wild market action. When the report came out, beans at one point were up 33 cents a bushel. That went ahead and set a new high, but they very quickly settled back to unchanged. And then on the corn side, they'd have been up at 11 cents. It didn't set a new high, but really close. But then within a couple minutes, they were trading 6 cents lower. So it's been very volatile trade. So when I came in so far, corn was down about a penny and beans were up about 10 cents. So they're kind of settling down.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of creates that quick back and forth like that, I guess?
Great question. So basically what happens is computer trading happens right as the report is released. So anything that looks like smaller demand or smaller supply numbers, immediately the traders buy it. But then once actually the humans, the actual physical traders get a chance to evaluate it, then you see the markets actually go ahead and kind of adjust back. So it makes for very wild times.
Yeah, and so actually the driving of the markets, where does that come from?
Yeah, it's all about weather, so we'll blame that one kind of on Tim, I guess. But, but it is about the weather. They're concerned about the hot conditions, not only here in the U.S., but also some of the conditions in South America. They're also concerned more so not about the hot conditions right now, but what could be hotter conditions that happen later on in July and August. And so what the speculative trade, the fund buyers are doing is that they're buying anticipation of the markets going higher later, and that's driven our markets up substantially. It's great for the farmers right now.
Yeah, so that was going to be another question. What should they be doing then?
Yeah, this is a great opportunity. A market like this is a lot like what we had last summer. This presents an opportunity to make remaining old crop sales, so those bushels that are in the bin on corn and soybeans, continue to make sales on them, get that sold. Also be making sales on the new crop. These are some good opportunities to get sales made, and I'd reward the market with where the prices are at right now.
Okay, a lot of good stuff there. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
We love seeing your photos. Share them with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or also email us grow@nebraska.tv. A Lexington farmer finds a niche that's nothing but goats. Find out how ethnic populations are driving this market up next.